most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hi, this is Matthew Stafford of your Los Angeles Rams. This is Mason in Ireland on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
It's okay.
All right, Mason in Ireland, Talking Heads, heavily underrated group.
Love that group.
And this is in reference to John Gruden saying he's going to burn down the NFL's house. We'll keep
burn it all.
That. Hey, Craig, what's it all to come down?
I understand from an
Do I need to remind you we're the Rams station? You would literally wipe out half our revenue.
No, they'll be perfect.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Just make everything come out. It would just be amazing.
It would be great radio. You're right about that.
It's not even great radio. It's just great everything.
Great
it's the
drama.
Story. I mean, you're going to
Well, you know me. I love the Real Housewives. And like this was the best Vanderpump Rules season ever because all the truth came out.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine all of these NFL owners
Wait,
on
Brian,
with
are you
Andy
a
Cohen?
Vanderpump guy?
I watched this last season.
Oh,
you just went way up in my eyes.
Let's go.
You can stay.
Yeah,
Do you watch
Mason would, if he was here, would be chastising you.
Do you watch any of the Below Decks?
Oh, I love them all.
They're
Yes,
great.
okay.
They're
I watch
great.
them all. The regular.
What's your favorite? Is Captain Sandy?
No, I like the sailing one.
I
a
like
little
Captain
more.
Lee.
He's retiring or something. He's out.
Yeah. But Captain,
too old.
Because I liked Captain Lee because if you got drunk
Yeah,
and
I
jumped
know.
in the water, he'd just lose it.
Yeah, he'd be like, see you later.
That just happened on the new one,
Sandy
too.
has
Yeah.
a soft side. Lee doesn't have any soft
I like,
sides.
yeah. I don't, Captain Glenn to me, he seems like a goober, but he's actually kind of tough and he's funny too. Like he's all right. But Gary's like the oldest teenager ever.
Yeah. Below Deck, great show.
Great show, and it's on all year round. Like
yes.
there's 4 of
It's
them.
on Bravo,
So-
I think, every day.
So,
Every night.
Brian, here's how bad we did a topic
I have no
one
idea
day.
what that means.
Yeah, thank you. We did a topic one day that if you could only have 3 TV stations, okay, so you only get 3.
'Kay.
That's it. I was the only one who had Bravo for one.
Oh,
of my
I would
3.
be one too.
I'd have Bravo.
I would have Bravo, ESPN,
Right.
and
HBO. You gotta have HBO.
Yeah.
And then you can. The problem is you realize we just took ourselves out of like most major sporting events, like because the Super
ESPN
Bowl
will catch us up.
Yeah, but the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, the World Series are all not on regular ESPN. But you're right; we would get all the highlights.
Yeah.
All right.
It's good enough.
Speaking of NBA, yesterday we kicked around the idea. Bill Plaschke wrote a column saying that the Clippers must trade for James Harden, and you and I both thought, well, they really don't have to. But here's the flip side of that coin. Stephen A. Smith thinks, and this is why this trade might happen, that if he ran the Sixers, okay, so not the Clippers,
Yep.
the Sixers, he would trade James Harden to the Clippers, but it has nothing to do with who's coming back the other way or Stephen A. doesn't dislike Harden. He likes him. Listen to his theory about why if he were Daryl Morey, the GM of the Sixers, he would trade James Harden.
It's a beautiful thing if James Harden leaves Philadelphia for this one reason and one reason only, Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey averaged 20 points a game, 48% shooting, 43% from three-point range. Only 2 people in the league last season scored better than 20 points per game on better than 42% shooting from three-point range. Him and Steph Curry. The brother is 22. 22 years old. If Harden is not there, that puts the ball in Maxey's hands even more. And whatever we've seen, we may see a better version of that in the years to come.
So what he's talking about, Ramona, is addition by subtraction. You take the ball out of Harden's hands and give it to Tyrese Maxey. I like Tyrese Maxey. I think he's a good player. Is he that good?
I don't know yet. I think, you know what he is? He's like the young player all the coaches love because he works really hard and he's got a great attitude and he occasionally has these big games where he'll go for 36 and 8, and he's got
Didn't we hear this about Tyler Hero 2 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, he's got this, what he is, he's not very good defensively. Right. So between him and Harden, they have a really difficult time in the back
staying
court.
in front of point guards. Yeah.
He has the ability to go off the way that James does, and he's quick. He can get by people. He doesn't have the same basketball IQ that James does. James is a savant when it comes to passing and setting up an offense and running the floor, and he's just like that's what he's really good at. If you could take James's basketball feel or IQ or whatever and put it on Maxey, you would have yourself a hell of a player. But Maxey can get there. Like I think he can get a lot better. The question for the Sixers is, what if you can get something back for Harden? Like they need to get a lot back for him. And can Maxey fill that secondary player? Can he be a good enough secondary guy?
Norman Powell and Terrence Mann enough for Harden?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they put Terrence Mann in, yeah. Terrence Mann's really good.
Right.
And then Norman Powell, the only problem
is that a good
with him,
deal for the Clippers?
No. The reason why they can't trade Terrence Mann is he's like their only young guy that anybody thinks is valuable. He's their only guy that if Paul George and Kawhi get old fast, because that could happen when players are this age with injury history.
Let me counter. If you want to hang on to Terrence Mann,
I personally like Norman Powell, but he has 2 years on his deal.
Okay,
not one.
I'll be Daryl Morey, you be Lawrence Frank.
All right.
Okay. All right, man.
I'm Lawrence Frank.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll trade you Harden. I understand you don't want to give up Terrence Mann. Give me Norman Powell, Marcus Morris, who's from Philly. He'll want to come here.
He doesn't play for the Clippers. No, like he's like DNP for the last month of the season. Okay,
no, but I'm just saying. I'm saying this to make the money work.
Okay,
right. Norman Powell, Ivica Zubac, and a number one in the future, any year you want. Will you do it?
I might.
You do that deal, Bergman?
I might do that. I don't.
Norman Powell, Marcus Morris,
Ivica
Zubac,
really
and a
want,
number one.
I don't think the Sixers really want.
And do they? Yeah, that's right. Do the Sixers want all that? Why not? Powell's a good player.
I think he's a good player, but they have this thing that they want to keep their salary cap space, so they don't want to take on more than 1 year contract.
Okay, but they also need to
Covington?
keep Joel Embiid. Yeah. Okay. So put Covington in. He's on a walkaway, right?
Yeah. Or Batum. Is he on a walkaway? I think he's. Yeah. Expired.
I mean, there's a deal to be made here.
There's a deal. I just think they're not putting Mann in.
But what I'm arguing is that the deal can get done without Mann.
Yeah, I do too. I think they can put a first in.
We'll see. Here's the other thing I want to ask you about, NBA related. The Spurs apparently have made so much money on ticket sales, merchandise, and TV spots already that they're looking to build a brand new arena. Their arena isn't that old. It's coming up on 15 years, 20 years old. It's out in the sticks. Mm-hmm. You've been there. Is one guy, in this case Victor Wembanyama, enough to generate a whole new arena?
I think so. Now they have a brand new practice facility that's
already
opening.
Being built?
That was already in process. So, they have their facility their practice facility is really way out there.
Right.
That's in San Antonio. When we live in LA, everything's far. So we're used to driving.
What was
30
fun
minutes
about San
to
Antonio 20 years ago was everything was downtown, including the Alamo Dome.
Yeah.
To get to where the Spurs play now.
Yeah.
It's where the rodeo is, so it's about 20, 25 minutes outside of town.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, it's fine. It's not really for you and me. It's not far compared to how far we drive to go to crypto, right? But for people in San Antonio, it is. Their practice facility was out kind of where a lot of the guys live. That's kind of out in the nice suburbs area. Right. The new one is supposed to be awesome. This awesome practice facility.
It's out near La Cantera, right?
Yeah,
where the resorts are.
The resorts are.
Yeah,
and that's pretty far outside of town. It's definitely far from.
But I guess the thing that surprised me about this story was that drafting one player who has yet to play a game would generate some GM told me once that the day you get Victor Wembanyama, your franchise value goes up $500 million. If maybe it's true. I mean,
it might
one
be true.
guy
It just
is going to
depends
get you
on
an
how good
arena.
he is. He's not LeBron. That's the thing is people.
I don't think he's going to. I'm picking Chet Holmgren to win Rookie of the Year.
I am too.
Yeah,
because I think the Spurs aren't going to let him play that much. He played 44 games last year.
Right.
I don't think they're going to let him play more than 55 or 60. So and they're going to minutes restrict him. I mean, I think he is going to be a hell of a player one day, but it's probably 3 years from now.
Yeah.
He'll probably have a nice, promising rookie year.
The schedule isn't even out yet.
Is that acceptable for a number one with this much hype around them to not be good for 3 years?
Yeah.
Well, she's not saying he's going to be bad.
No,
she's
not
saying
bad. He's just not going to play.
He's not going to be an
very
all-star.
much.
Like LeBron was an all-star in his second year.
Yeah, I think he averaged like 26 points. He scored 26 points his first game.
Yeah, he may, because of the hype.
That's the thing.
He may get voted in.
Yeah.
They made
like Kobe did that one year.
They
Blake
made
Griffin
the
did
hype
one year.
around Victor Wembanyama just as big, if not bigger, than LeBron James.
Agreed.
And now for him to only play 40 games or whatever it is, or like depending on what actually happens to him, if he's not actually good until year 3, that's people are going to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'll
I
criticize
don't know if they'll
him.
kill him,
Yeah.
but they'll kill the Spurs.
They'll kill the Spurs. They'll criticize
can you
him.
think of anyone who cares less about what people think than Greg Popovich? He doesn't care.
Like
the perfect
Zion's
franchise.
in year 4?
Yeah.
5, I think, right?
Is he?
Coming up.
Yeah, but they criticize Zion, not the Pelicans.
Right, they criticize Zion
For not being able to be
all
healthy
the
and stay
time.
healthy.
So if he's only playing 40 games a year,
I
he's going to
think
get criticized.
Victor could be worth that, but I think sometimes we're somebody gave me this phrase and I'm going to mess it up, but we're too soon to anoint people, and we're too quick, and we're also too soon to write
Tear
them
down.
off.
Yep, I think that's completely fair. All right, coming up next, and I can't remember you ever doing this before, Greg. Bergman sent me a note last time we were mapping out the show. He said, "Hey, put this Jeopardy. Just put Jeopardy in the show, and I'll explain it. Don't go any farther than that. Put Jeopardy in the show." So I got it in there next. Do you want to shed any light on what this is?
So,
are you having us play Jeopardy?
Well, no. So it's just the final Jeopardy answer.
All right, so we're playing Final Jeopardy, the three of us.
Yeah, the three
Okay.
of you. I'm going to give you the question. I'm going to see if you can get it.
Okay.
Because this guy did not.
Okay, so that's coming up next. Brian, Ramona, and I will take a shot at Final Jeopardy. What's up, fool? Still to come. Momo has the game today. Those are always fun. Mason in Ireland. Ramona Shelburne in for Mace, ESPN LA. All right. Bergman reached out to me last night and said, I have a Jeopardy question for you and Momo and Brian. Greg, I don't know anything more than that. Explain where this all came from.
So the other night on Jeopardy, a guy named Taylor was a 2-day champion.
All right, so he's good.
He's always
smart.
good. Yes, he's a smart guy. And he had about a $1,500 lead going into Final Jeopardy and was given the category. It was called Compound Word Origins. And he wagered almost everything that he had. And he ended up in third place because of this question, which was not very hard. So do you guys have something to write down?
Yeah.
So let's play it like it's Jeopardy.
Okay.
Don't worry about the money. Just I want you to put in what you think the answer is and see if you can get it, because I thought it was pretty easy.
Okay.
All right, so compound word origins.
Yeah.
Okay.
This compound word meant an astronomical object of exceptional brightness in 1910. It was soon applied to actors and athletes.
Okay. It's a compound word.
This compound word meant an astronomical...
Compound word is two words that make one.
Correct. This compound word meant an astronomical object of exceptional brightness in 1910.
It can't be that. It's too
It was
easy.
soon applied to actors and athletes. So we'll start when you guys are ready.
I don't think I have it right, but this is the first thing that came to my mind.
You don't have to overthink it.
All right.
Okay.
I think my answer's too easy.
I know.
Okay, Brian, let's see what you got first.
I have no idea. I can
You came up blank. All right,
Yeah.
so you
Came up
lose
blank.
all your money.
Okay, Momo.
What is a shooting star?
Mine's close to that. I
Close.
said, what is a superstar?
Superstar is
Yeah, there you go.
absolutely right. A superstar.
There you
That
go.
was not hard.
I thought it was like too easy.
Exactly.
He missed it.
He
Shooting
missed it.
Shooting stars.
Yeah, something we were
The
in
only
there.
thing is when you said it applied to actors and athletes.
Right.
Star is the first thing I thought
Yeah.
of. But
When it applies
so
to
the
a
guy lost all his
superstar
money on-
actor.
Did the other two
Superstar athlete.
contestants get it?
The other two contestants, Julie and Andrew, both got it, but he wrote down what is star.
So he didn't even write down a compound word. He forgot the category.
Right. He just went with just star, and he lost all of it, and he ended up in third place.
See, the reason your answer was a little bit wonky
It's
is
not
that
a compound word.
Not
Right.
a compound
It's
word.
two
you went to
words.
Stanford, Momo.
I know. Well,
couldn't
it was
think
just
of one
really,
either
it
right
was
there.
really
That's what got me.
fast. If I would have thought about it for one more
But
second,
when
I would have got
well,
it.
you only have 30.
Yeah.
You always have the Laura Romo got it.
Yeah, because it's really not that hard, right?
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
that,
in terms of a Final Jeopardy question,
super easy.
Yeah, it's almost one
Yeah.
of the easiest ones I've ever heard.
Huh.
Right. So for him to lose, he was a 2-day champion, would have been a 3-day champion because he bet almost everything he had.
Oh.
Well, I think you have to on Jeopardy. You got to bet. You got to bet
you
most
don't-
of your money. You have to bet at least enough money that the second place guy can't pass you.
Right. So he had $1,500 above the next person, so he just had to make sure that he would stay in that range. Amazing. So I just thought that was a super easy. I was looking, I was like, this is way too easy to get wrong.
So I didn't know you were going here. I was going to do this for later, but I actually had a question. Let me see if I can find it. I actually had a question about. I saw this story where we could, Greg, rent a house. Okay, it's in Florida.
Okay.
And let me see if I can find it. Okay, this house in Florida has it's an Airbnb. It has 14 bedrooms and
Okay.
sleeps 40. All right, so we could, in
Sounds
essence, invite the whole station to stay in this house. Okay, like all of our various on-air people, all the people we like, that surround the
Yeah.
show. So my thought was, and by the way, the reason I thought it is every room in the house has a sports theme. It only costs $700 to $800 a night, and we could put 40 people in it, so it wouldn't be expensive. If we put everybody at the station in this place for a weekend and do you know what a superstars competition is? You guys,
No, what is that, Jim?
Okay, so in the 70s and 80s, ABC. Do you guys remember if you watch ice skating during the Olympics, there's a guy named Dick Button who used to talk about Dorothy Hamill and,
Yeah, I think we brought this back, actually.
Yeah, he created
Yeah, I
this.
think I know this now.
So there was what he would do is he'd invite athletes from all over the sporting world and host an athletic competition. Here's some of the people that won it. Charles White from USC won it one year. Ronaldo Nehemiah, Mark Gastineau, Herschel Walker, Willie Gault. And basically it was Jason Sehorn won it who went to USC. Jeremy Bloom, the skier, won it. So it was a competition of, and they did this for super teams too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'd have the Dodgers play the Yankees, and all that stuff.
It's like a
so like one day,
like an obstacle course, right?
Okay, so
or
obstacle course. Then we'd run the 100-yard dash. Then we'd have they had a dunk tank.
Yep.
Obstacle course was the final event. So if we did that for the whole station, we had a superstars competition. Who wins? It's either Morrison or DeMarco, right?
Oh, we including the professional athletes?
Well, it's anybody. It's any like all the people that played in the softball game.
Yeah.
All right, or anybody else who works here.
I think Mario Ruiz.
That's what I was thinking.
No,
Yeah.
he couldn't hang with Morrison in some of the bigger events. Like Morrison would,
Like what?
Weightlifting, Morrison.
Oh yeah. He would win that.
Swimming. I might win the swimming. I don't know if anybody can swim faster than me, but that's the only thing I'd win. I'd win swimming, and I'd finish second to Travis if there was a golf event.
Yeah.
I think it would be a two-horse race. I think my prediction would be, Greg, tell me if you agree with this. Morrison gets the gold. DeMarco gets the silver.
I don't think DeMarco's he's super strong, but I don't think he's like in that kind of Kirk Morrison. I'm great at everything.
And either
shape.
you or Travis get the bronze, Greg.
Not me or Travis. I don't know about that. But I think
I'd finish him. I guarantee you Mason
I think
would
Mario
finish.
and Jorge pretty
Mason
good.
wouldn't even
Mario,
finish.
Jorge would be good.
Mason would get hurt.
Yeah.
Sedano
early
would
in
be
it.
good. I think Cappy would be good.
Me and Sedano and Cap would finish middle of the pack.
Yeah, for sure. Cappy's an athlete.
Right.
As much as we give him hell, he's an athlete. I think that would be. Jorge would be really good.
Yates probably be good too.
Yeah, Clinton would be good.
Well, we think so.
Had
a couple errors.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
No
not
comment.
at least.
I love him.
I am not allowed to talk. Our team got our butts kicked.
Boat race.
Laura says Sedano.
I didn't make any errors. I'm just gonna say, but
You did not.
Laura
You had a
says
nice catch in the outfield, actually.
Sedano and Cap won a
take any
Miami.
bouts for that. Our team lost really bad.
Do you know about this, Greg? Sedano and Cap won a Miami show trip. This thing might work.
They talk a lot. They talk about doing a lot of things.
Okay, so
If they want to do a show in Miami and they can make it work, why not?
yeah, I wonder. Oh, by the way, I thought it was only on ABC. It was on ABC, NBC,
Yeah.
and CBS over the years. It just
Battle of
bounced
the Network
around.
All Stars or something, right?
Yeah.
I think
Battle of the Network Stars was different.
Yeah.
Battle of the Network Stars was awesome.
Yeah.
They'd get all the stars from CBS, ABC, and NBC, and they'd put them in athletic competitions, and they brought in Howard Cosell to host it.
It was awesome.
Great.
And we brought that back a few years ago. Cassidy Hubbard, who works for us now,
Yeah,
she was the host.
She's awesome.
Her and I think maybe, was it Sage Steele was the other host? Maria
Could've
Taylor,
been.
something like
Could've
that.
been. Yeah. Yeah, they've all worked at ESPN
Yeah.
or still work at ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. All right, so we may rent this house that sleeps 40 for
Sleeps
7 to 800.
40. That's called a hotel.
16 rooms.
That's not a house. That's a hotel.
16 rooms, all with a sports theme. There's some place, Greg, you should take Riley to this place. There's some place as you drive to Northern California where every room has a theme.
Oh, that's the Madonna Inn.
Yeah.
Yes. Lisa and Jack went there, and Jack loved it.
Ah.
Yeah, when the boys get a little older, Momo, you can take them there. So
Yeah.
every room has, like, one room is a caves room where everything in the room is a cave.
Cool.
And then the next room
How
is
many rooms are there?
probably 30.
Okay.
But then they're all different.
It's all pink too, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they've got all these. Look it up. It's
I know where it is.
Yeah,
it's over by San Luis Obispo.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just below San Luis Obispo,
Right.
between Napomo and Avila.
So that's a possibility too. All right, coming up next, What's Up, Fool? Who's doing it today? Is it Brian or Greg?
It is Brian.
It's Brian's
always.
day for What's Up, Fool. We're
Always.
Tackle It next, ESPN LA.
Hollywood Park Casino. You can be there. Get your leagues ready now and learn more at ESPNLA.com. Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, play.
Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal. Dos hombres.
Look at that. How do I follow that? I don't. So I simply say, take it away, Corporate Greg.
All right, so Corporate Greg has handed off responsibilities for What's Up, Fool to Brian Coe and Ringo. Brian, what do you got today?
What's up, fool?
So staying with the sports kind of that we just talked about, the competition, LA Live is having their 3-on-3 competition, and today is the last day that you could sign up for a team.
Okay.
Including yourself, who are 2 other people from the station that you would put on your 3-on-3 team to have the best chance of winning?
For hoop?
For hoop, yes.
All right. I don't know if Morrison can play basketball. So, Greg, with that in mind, I've played with you. I know you can play.
Yeah.
Michael hasn't picked up a basketball in 20 years. We don't want him. He would just stand there and laugh. DeMarco would set wicked screens. We just have to make shots. So my team would be me, you, and DeMarco. And if we can't get him, I'd take Travis just because he's a good... I don't know if Travis can play basketball, but he's a good athlete.
He does not like to run, so I would assume...
But it's 3-on-3. It's half court.
Sure, he doesn't like to move. He walked to first base.
Can I take DeAndre? He used to play. Is he on the list?
I know, that's up to Brian's
discussion. Yeah, that's a fair game.
All right. Well, but Parker, is that a good idea? Take DeAndre? All right. Parker, who does a podcast with DeAndre, give me the thumbs up. Yeah, so me, you, DeAndre, Greg, I think is the team.
So the best team that you can actually probably have is, if I'm putting myself in there, Allen and DeAndre. Allen is a...
Sliwa
is a great shooter.
Okay.
Great shooter.
But here's the problem.
Also, I think Sedano's a good shooter, too.
Here's the problem, though. If we don't take DeMarco...
Somebody has to guard him.
Yeah, I bet you DeMarco could set big screens, though.
I would take Morrison, DeMarco, and Sliwa. I'm pretty good as a passer. People like playing with me because I never shoot. I just pass the ball to everybody. I don't care about scoring. So I would just feed the post to DeMarco. We'd play inside out. Morrison could be like our, running around the perimeter guy. Sliwa's gonna space the floor, hit threes.
Yeah, I used to play basketball like 3 times a week, and now I don't play anymore, so I don't know how good I'd be. I don't think we're winning it, Brian. Let's put it that way. I don't think anyone from ESPN LA is winning the 3-on-3 tournament, so to speak.
What's up, fool?
So I feel like in the MLB, the scoreboard operators have been going a little haywire here recently. It started this year with the Padres and the Kershaw meme. And then the Colorado Rockies.
A guy broke up with his girlfriend,
right. And earlier this week, the Brewers had a little comment after Elly De La Cruz almost hit a home run. They said in the scoreboard, he's got warning track power. Next at-bat, hits a home run. Are these scoreboard operators, do they need to tone it down a little bit? They're not part of the team.
I think the opposite.
Yeah,
I like it when the scoreboard operator is kind of wonky. Kind of like is out there trying stuff. I didn't mind it.
Although
by the way, Greg, Elly De La Cruz is here tonight, right?
Yep, sure is.
Reds-Dodgers at Tiger Stadium
that's
tonight.
a good series.
And my guy Matt McClain is I went to
That's your
college.
guy?
Well, I went to college with his dad. Was in the fraternity with me. So I root for him from afar. I've never met Matt, but Mike, his dad, I know. But Matt played shortstop at UCLA with Eric Karros' kids.
Okay.
On that one team that was ranked number 1 in the country, and they're really good. And so they're going to draw a good crowd this weekend. Because isn't tomorrow night Hershiser's bobblehead night?
Yep, sure is.
Yes, this is going to be a big weekend at Dodger Stadium. But no, Greg, I like it when the scoreboard operator is a little bit saucy.
So it's not bad. I don't mind it either, but at the same time, the Padres, since they did the Clayton Kershaw meme, are something like 10 games under 500. Like they've been a problem.
I'm all for creativity and having fun and all that, but 2 words: Stanford banned.
See, I like the Stanford band.
I do too, but when they go a little off, when they cross the line, they cross the line. And like we used to let them do whatever they wanted to do, and then they cross the line too many times, and now some administrator has to read the script every time.
Right. So anyway, if you don't know the story of this, the Stanford in the 70s, their nickname was the Indians. And everybody said, that's offensive.
Yeah.
This is long before the Commanders changed the name of their team, and the Guardians changed the name of their team.
I bet I know a couple wrinkles to this story that you don't know yet.
Okay, so in the early 70s, they said, we're changing the name. And they kept coming up with all these names because Stanford's kind of a liberal think tank. They didn't want to make anyone mad.
Well, no, here's what they wanted to name it. The students wanted to name it. They had an actual vote.
Right.
Where they were going to name it the Robber Barons. That's because Leland Stanford was part of that railroad generation that made all the money. So
but the politics got involved.
Yeah, and
the
administrators were saying we're not going to be called the Robber Barons, okay? So the university essentially said, okay, we think of ourselves as the Harvard of the West. And Harvard's mascot is the Crimson.
Right.
Okay, all the Ivy Leagues, they're like the Dartmouth is something like that too.
Completely unoffensive. Like
something green.
Yeah.
It's like their colors or whatever. So they decided to name us the Stanford Cardinal, the color, not the bird.
Right.
And the students were like, "Well, that's stupid." So the band decided to make its own mascot and make it a tree.
Which could not offend anyone.
Could not offend anyone.
And then the tree, the character, the guy who runs around, became the most offensive character in band history.
Correct.
Yeah, just does all
every
these
year there's a new
politically
tree.
incorrect
You have to do all these crazy stunts to become the tree. It's a whole thing.
All right, so yeah, but Brian, to answer your original question, no, more power to the scoreboard operator.
What's up, fool?
So as we all know, Twitter is been changing, and now it's X.
X!
And so with that, they had to change their @ which is somebody already owned the @X, the username.
Okay.
And Twitter took it from him without any compensation, and they offered to meet management. That was the only form
oh, wow.
And I think this is terrible. Back when I was in San Diego, I remember actually the Padres changed their name to the Madres for Mother's Day, and some fans snatched up the Padres, and the Padres had to pay him, or they ended up giving them tickets to get the
Padres back,
the handle back. So do you think, is this an acceptable form? Just, hey, do you want to meet Elon, and we'll take your name?
Yeah.
But Elon didn't offer him any monetary value for taking the name?
No, none at
all.
Boy,
this is the most Elon Musk thing ever, isn't it? I'm just going to do what I want, and you deal with the consequences.
That's great.
Don't look behind these curtains.
Yeah. I would have given that guy something. The guy who had X. I mean, you just can't take it from him. I guess you can.
God, it's just... I feel like he's become a caricature now.
Elon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody taken what was a previously pretty good name? Like wasn't Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr.'s character based on him, kind of?
Tony Stark?
Yeah, Tony Stark.
Yeah, maybe.
Now it's like...
Well, I mean, Tony Stark had been around a lot longer than Elon was born, but...
Yeah, it is. I'll just say this: it's very on brand for Elon. Wouldn't you say, Greg?
Yeah, he absolutely is. He's the Wizard of Oz. Like he's got this whole thing. Look at all these powerful things I do, and he's just a little guy in the back not doing anything. It's just ridiculous. The fact that any other person wants to get an @ like I wanted @ Greg Bergman for a long time. Somebody has it. They have like no followers and just sits there on it. Right. I can't get it. But if he wants it, he can just go out and he's like, nope, mine now.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Well, like Mason,
don't look behind these curtains.
I'm going to screw this story up, but Mason really wanted SteveMason.com, and someone else had it.
Okay.
And Mason's like the only guy I know who would do this. I think he paid him $1,000 to get the domain name. I'd rather than try and change it to something else. So Mason owns Steve Mason. He may have been $500. Remind me to ask him that when he comes back. But he paid him money
still.
But like this is a monetary exchange or exchange of value is pretty common. Like when you come into a team, if you want to keep your old jersey number and somebody else already has it, you normally have to give them something. This guy got hosed. If the guy who had X gets absolutely nothing.
Bad deal for
What's
him.
up, fool?
Also, has it actually changed to X? Like, I still go on Twitter.
If you go on it, you'll see X, a big X.
I don't know. Every time, I mean,
if you on your phone, if you go into the App Store and re-download it or update it, it will change to X. I'm not.
I probably just haven't updated it.
Yeah, don't update it.
Mine still has a bird. and
Yeah,
everything.
mine's got a bird. It says tweet. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Nope. It's bird.
What's up, fool?
I'm just not going to update it.
So,
all right, what
I
you got?
saw this video last night. It was an older woman in a Tesla here in LA going 5 south around Commerce Casino, middle of rush hour traffic.
Okay.
And she was dead asleep behind the wheel, knocked out.
But she had on autopilot?
Autopilot car.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yeah. This scares me tremendously. I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? In rush hour traffic, it was like 5 p.m.
I've heard the autopilot. I don't have a Tesla, but I've heard the autopilot on a Tesla is pretty reliable.
Yeah.
I still would not go to sleep. So that would scare the crap out of me too, Brian. No thanks.
Mason be like, sign me up.
Yeah, well, Mason is looking for a driverless car. I mean, in 10 years, Greg, we'll probably have a bunch of driverless cars, and this will be commonplace.
Yeah, it's going to happen all the time. That Waymo thing that they've been doing, that's going to be happening. But my friend has a Tesla, and you have to touch it every once in a while. So unless your hand is on the steering wheel and passed out, you have to make sure you can't just like take your hands off.
What happens if you don't touch it?
If you don't, I think everything just shuts down.
Okay.
Like it starts beeping at you and all this other stuff. You have to touch the steering wheel.
It's really interesting because I have an Oura ring. You guys have that? Like it's one of those things that tracks your sleep.
Yeah.
And a lot of NBA players have them now. There was like a thing they gave out in the bubble, and then everybody got into it.
Right.
So I like it because it keeps me accountable for both my activity and also my sleep, and it makes me like think about how much sleep am I getting and yada yada. Anyway, sometimes though when I take a nap, it'll pick up that I took a nap during the day, but other times it'll pick up that I took a nap when I didn't take a nap. The other day when I went to go see Barbie, I was in the movie theater.
Because you were quiet and it was dark, it probably assumed
quiet,
you were
dark,
sleeping.
and I was in one of those recliner seats. Plus, it was like hot in there, so we were probably just whatever.
Yeah.
But because you're not moving, the Oura Ring will oftentimes register that as a nap. And I'm like, how does that pick up that that's deep sleep? Like it said I was in deep sleep for an hour and a half. I'm like, no, I was definitely watching the movie.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the Oura Wing has worked out all the kinks.
Right. And so, like, to me, this Tesla, the auto drive thing and the sleep,
yeah.
Doesn't sound like they quite have the technology nailed.
All right. You got one more? Is that it?
What's up, fool?
I'm going to go ahead and take one here for you.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian. So the NBA, according to Shams Charania, has informed Damian Lillard and his agent that any future comments about Dame only wanting to play for the Heat would potentially subject him to discipline. What could they possibly discipline him for?
Well, he is...
Hold on. Here's the statement. Okay, this is on Chris Haynes' Twitter, and it's a full NBA memo which was sent to 30 teams. It basically says that we interviewed Dame and his agent and also spoke with several NBA teams to whom Goodwin spoke. Goodwin denied stating or indicating to any team that Lillard would refuse to play for them. Goodwin and Lillard affirmed to us that Lillard would fully perform the services called for under his player contract in any trade scenario. The relevant teams provided descriptions of their communications with Goodwin that were mostly, though not entirely, consistent with Goodwin's statements. We have advised Goodwin and Lillard that any future comments made privately to teams or publicly suggesting Lillard will not perform the services called for under his player contract in the event of a trade will subject him to discipline by the NBA. We've also told the Players Association that any similar comments by players or their agents will be subject to discipline going forward.
Well, I don't blame him.
Isn't it a players' league, though? They get to kind of do what they want. Anthony Davis did it.
Well, except...
You're not supposed to ever say it out loud.
Yeah, and by the way, Greg, Anthony Davis said almost nothing. Like, he was just...
That's all, folks.
Yeah, but he was never saying, I'll only play for the Lakers. It's been reported that Lillard only wants to go to the Heat by multiple reputable reporters.
Yeah, look...
You can't
Let me shed a little light on this, okay?
Good.
there have been a lot of when this first was playing. Part of the reason why this has become a story is because Damian Lillard took so long to actually ask for a trade. There was a time when I thought he was going to ask for a trade about a week or so earlier, but he didn't actually do it. Remember, he met with the Blazers. It was like the Monday before the draft, and he had gotten back from his trip to Europe, and everyone thought he was going to ask for a trade then, and he didn't actually do it. He kind of did it. And they said, "Can you just give us some more time? Can you give us till February?" And he said, "No. Just, can you give us till the end of the week?" He said, "Okay, fine. Go ahead." So before other teams started making moves in and around the draft, there were 5 or 6 teams that he would have considered playing for.
Right.
Okay. I from what I had been reporting, told, I think I said this on air several times, like there was an idea that he could play for the Warriors,
right? That
he could play for the Clippers, that he could play for the Heat, that he could play for the Brooklyn Nets, that he could play for the Bulls. Well, those teams subsequently went and made moves that took them out of the running for Damian Lillard. That made it very hard for them to either have the assets to acquire him or wouldn't necessarily do it. So he was kind of down to the Heat. Now, I've said that he has interest in the Spurs as well. I've been told that multiple times.
Yeah,
and it's been very strongly.
He played for Pop on Team USA.
He just really loves Pop, and he likes the idea of playing with Wemby. But they're on Wemby's time frame. They're not trying to build a winner right now. They're going to grow 2 or 3 young kids alongside Wemby. So it is hard that they're in this position now, and they're kind of sticking to this one team thing. But it was never real. It was never going to be just one team. It just ended up that way.
And Greg, from the NBA's perspective, I can see why they did this, because it just cripples league business when guys do that.
You're not allowed. If you have a contract, John, you can't openly say, "I want to trade from here." Like, let's say you decide, "I don't want to
go there,"
and I'll only go there. First, you're in breach of contract.
Right.
You're under a player contract, and you're not actually even allowed to ask for a trade. You're allowed to request a trade.
Right.
But if you ask for a trade publicly, you can be fined. Players have been fined for that in the past. If you ask for a trade and it gets reported, you're not supposed to confirm it. Right? It gets reported that you asked for a trade. And then if you don't show up, like let's say you're asking for a trade and then you don't show up to play, you get what happens to Ben Simmons. They don't pay you.
Yeah.
I think you're in breach of contract.
Do you think, if Portland can't find a trade partner, do you think Dame plays with Scoot Henderson in Portland?
Yes.
Okay. So that's
my read of it. I think Dame loves basketball too much, and he doesn't. I don't know if he has the stomach for it. Now, his agent's job is to try to get him to where he wants to go. It's just very rarely comes out so publicly.
And Aaron Goodwin's a good agent.
Yeah,
so let's
good agent.
Let's see what happens there. All right, coming up next, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received from your mom? I'll explain.
I like this.
Next. Momo Informace. I'm John Ireland, ESPN LA.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? It's Cappy. Have you heard? continues now.
Today it's Momo in Ireland. Mason on, well, who knows? It's a weekday, so he's not here. Lots to cover today. The Dodgers made another trade. Lance Lynn and our old friend Joe Kelly.
It's just kind of amazing how they're bringing the guys back.
Yeah, are coming back. So they got Kike back. Now they've got Joe Kelly back. They're adding Lance Lynn. Mason hates Lance Lynn because he gives up too many home runs. I like him because he's top. He's 6th in the league in strikeouts, and he's an innings eater. And I think he's an upgrade over. And I like the young pitchers. I like Michael Grove. I like Emmett Sheehan. I really like Bobby Miller. But especially in the case of Sheehan and Grove, I think they're a year away, and Lance Lynn can pitch now. Greg, I sense you're probably in the middle of Mason and I. Mason's no on Lance Lynn. I'm yes. You're like, it's okay.
I do. It's fine. I mean, he's not a very frontline starter. He's not going to be ahead of Kershaw or probably even Urias, but Bobby Miller might even be ahead of him, but probably not just yet. But either way, I think that he's an innings eater. He has a great strikeout pitch. He is a little bit of a fly ball pitcher, so that's a problem. He also has
less of a problem at Dodger Stadium.
It is.
Well, keep in mind these
cool nights.
These trades.
He's also in the playoffs. The last couple of years, he's been a little bit rough.
Well, here you just took me where I want to go. In the playoffs, you need 3 starters for sure. And depending on how the series is going, maybe 4. So, if you're the Dodgers, Greg, I would say Kershaw starts game 1, Urias starts game 2, and then you have either Gonsolin or Lynn to start game 3. Okay, so you need Lynn. You need him.
No, you do. And they need another one. They need another starter.
And I still have yet to figure out what's happened with Urias this year.
He's leaving. That's what happens.
But in a contract year, you should be having a good year. He's having the worst year of his career.
Right.
I mean, it's like, especially on the road. So, I mean, they've got to tee him up at home somehow.
Remember earlier in the show when I in Wheeler Questions when I said if you had a major life event and a fortune teller could tell you what it was, would you want to know? And then I used the example, well, what if the fortune teller tell you were getting fired?
Yeah.
Or you were leaving? You wouldn't be as engaged. I've been in these situations where I knew I was leaving somewhere.
Yeah.
But I still had to finish. And you tell yourself, be professional. Your heart is not in it.
Yeah.
Greg,
okay.
my sense is, and I don't mean to demean Julio because I like him, I've had the feeling all year long that he knows he's leaving and his heart's not in it. Is that too harsh?
I mean, no, it's possible. But again, like Momo said, he's in a contract here. So
everything about him says he needs to be incentivized to do
He should do what Aaron Judge did last year.
Yeah.
And by the way, Aaron Judge coming back tonight. For the first time since he ran into the Dodger bullpen gate.
It was such an amazing catch, though.
Never should have gone for it.
It really wasn't worth it, though.
No, amen,
like,
Momo. Amen.
They're like
he crippled their offense.
I think they were 30-18 with him, and now they're in last place in the AL East.
And by the way, this is one of those.
Since he got hurt.
This is one of those things that people think, but they won't say. All right. There's no way.
Go.
Yeah, let it go.
Don't get hurt.
And like
they would have lost the game if you let that go.
So what?
What?
Yeah, I'm just saying
they lost Aaron Judge instead.
They lost the season instead.
Yeah.
They did. They won the game and lost Aaron Judge.
Not worth it.
But so Urias, he could come around, but my sense is he knows he's leaving, and that he's just not as.
I think he's had some injuries. Obviously, he's had some stuff wrong, and then it's hard to get back. But here's if you really don't like. I'm all about trust, right? Which pitcher do you trust? Do you feel like that guy is a good pitcher and he's going to give you good at bats? Is he going to execute? Even if he doesn't have his best stuff, is he going to find a way through it? I don't feel like I trust Urias now. I don't know if I trust, and then that gets me thinking. Well, if he's going to leave anyway, is there an argument that they should trade him now? Like, can you trust him in the playoffs?
Where's his value?
Yeah, he's the definition of a rental.
Yeah, but somebody else might say, well, he has great stuff. He's done great in the playoffs.
Yep.
Maybe we'll have him as an audition. I mean, maybe you can get something for him.
Well, and one of you said that Dodgers aren't done. There's probably not a lot of other big-name starters that are going to move. Jack Flaherty could move. Blake Snell could move, Greg.
Yeah,
they won't trade him.
Will not
they won't trade him to the Dodgers.
Also, no thanks.
Yeah.
You don't want Blake Snell?
No.
He's been one of the best pitchers
He's
in
been
baseball
really good
for the
this
last
year.
like 2-3 months.
Really good.
I don't know. He's like good for 4 innings or something.
And the other thing is he's another lefty. So if you trade for Snell, you would go into a playoff series with Kershaw, Urias, Snell, lefty, lefty, lefty. That's really easy to load up on.
Yeah.
I mean,
right,
Lynn is a righty, just so you know.
But here's okay. So Greg, we get into a playoff series. Okay, it's a best of 7 playoff series. Like it's the Braves. All right, Kershaw pitches game 1, we win.
He has to.
Urias pitches game 2, we lose.
It's at home.
No, it's in Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta. Oh yeah, no.
All right, so then we're coming back to Dodger Stadium for a 1-1 series in a must-win game.
Ugh.
Your choices are Lance Lynn, Tony Gonsolin,
Bobby Miller.
Well, that's where I was going. I think I give the ball to Bobby Miller. Am I nuts?
No, you're not nuts. If he starts to kind of figure himself out a little bit, he's been up and down. He's good for about 4. You know what? Yes, Bobby Miller, 4 innings. As soon as he gets into any type of trouble, you pull him.
Yeah, and now you've got some options.
Yeah,
and I'm Walker Buehler. By the way, Walker Buehler's birthday is today.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
He's not coming back, right?
They say he's supposed to be ready September
And Dustin
1st.
May out for sure for like a year.
He's out
right?
for a year.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, what they do or how they handle it. Okay, so this story, I don't know who this is because I don't watch a lot of Fox News, but they have a host named Jesse Waters. Do you guys know who that is?
I know who that is.
All right, so
it's not a breakfast show.
I think
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I think he's on one of those. I think he replaced like one of the people that left. Like he replaced Tucker Carlson or one of those people. Anyway, he had his first show within the last couple of weeks. He had his first show, and his first guest was his mom.
Okay.
And he said, "Mom, do you have any advice for me?" And she said, "Yeah, don't go down any of those conspiracy rabbit holes like you guys always do," and which I thought was a good piece of advice. But it got me to thinking, what's the best piece of advice you ever got from your mom? When I say that, Momo, what pops into your head?
There's like 2 or 3 that pop in, but I
have a couple.
I will tell you the one that is suitable for air. This was back when I was like junior high-ish. I was a little is that total self-conscious age where you get a few zits or something and you're trying to cover them up and you're worried everyone's going to look at you funny and whatever. And my mom said to me, "Ramona, don't worry about your zits. Everybody's just worried that you're going to notice theirs."
That's good advice.
And like, just nobody's looking at your stuff. They're just worried you're going to look at all theirs.
All right, Bergman,
so like, stop. Just get over yourself. Just relax.
How about Jan? Best piece of advice Jan Bergman has ever given you? What pops into your head?
So she's given me a lot of good ones, but the best one to me, and you John, you're going to be maybe the only one that understands this.
Okay,
but always wear a hat. That's always what she's told me. Always wear a hat, and I've always remembered that, and I will always do it.
But what's weird about that is, wait a minute. What's weird about that is that you have great hair.
Yeah, no.
If I had
different hat.
Okay.
Yeah, we can just go from there.
I got you now. And coming from your mother.
Wow,
that's
always
solid.
Wear
that's
a hat.
Solid. No, Laura just stormed in and goes, "You guys are all idiots."
I got it now.
Went right over my head.
Brian, is your mom still? You told me the other day your mom and dad are still alive, right?
Yeah, they're in Tennessee.
What's the best piece of advice you ever got from your mom?
First thing that comes to my mind is when I was thinking about going to college, I was kind of thinking about staying home, San Diego State or community college.
Right.
And my mom was totally against that. Kicked me out of the house, kind of like, "Oh, you need to leave."
She wanted you to have a college experience, or at least a life experience.
Exactly, and that's the best thing that's ever happened. So,
all right, so I've got 2 for Myrna Ireland, my mom, who's still alive and well. She's in her 80s, but she'll be mad that I mentioned that. When I was in high school, I took a class that they said, "What do you want to do with your life? Like what career path do you want to go down?" And I said, "I want to be a sportscaster." And my dad cornered me and he said, came into my room and he said, "Hey, listen, I want to talk to you about this sportscaster thing." And I go, "Yeah." He said, "You need to have a more stable plan in case that doesn't work. And I said, like a backup plan? He goes, I'd make the sportscaster thing a backup plan. And I said, why? He goes, it's not that I don't have confidence that you can do it. He said, you're just choosing a profession that is extremely difficult to break into.
Right.
He said, you watch a lot of sports. He goes, pay attention to how many of those people are former professional athletes. He said, if you listen to
half, yeah.
He goes, if you listen to the Dodger game, you'll hear Don Drysdale. And I said, I go, yeah, but then he works with Vince Scully. And my dad looked at me, the first of many people to tell me this, John, you're not Vince Scully.
Right.
Yeah. He goes, well, here's what I'm worried about. He said, I'm worried that you are going to find a job that even if you're good at it, you won't get any opportunities because you're never going to be a professional athlete. So don't do it. And I said, okay, I'll think about it. Thanks. And I didn't know. And my mom was out in the hallway. My mom walked in and she said, hey, don't listen to him. Go for it.
All right.
If that's what you want to do, go for it.
All right.
Somebody has to do those jobs.
Yeah.
Why can't it be you? And I don't think it was a tag team. I don't think it was pre-match. She just felt differently.
Differently, yeah.
She goes, why not you? That's
cool.
where I got why not.
Cool. I like that.
She goes, why not you?
Yeah.
And so she would, why not? Yeah. So so that was the first one. And the other one was, she said, I would say to her, she'd say, what are you doing this weekend? And I'd say, well, I'm exhausted, but I got to go to this party. And she goes, why? It's going to be a good party? And I'd go, yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And she goes, well, then nobody's going to miss it if you don't go. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, if you're exhausted
and
you're debating about whether or not to go, the only reason you would go is to be selfish because you want to have fun. She said, don't think twice about blowing it off.
Yeah.
She goes, if it's a good party, no one will notice you're not
there.
there.
Yeah, totally.
And so now when I get invited to places, I think about it. I go, oh, man, I'm pretty wiped out. And I could go. It should be a good party.
Yeah.
And Lisa will go, nobody will notice if you're not there.
That's true.
And I went, oh, that's an excellent way of looking at that.
Yeah.
You know, and
I like that.
So it sounds like everybody got good, solid advice.
I got another good one. I could probably tell this on air.
Yeah, go. Tell it.
So when I was in preschool, like most kids, I used to pick my boogies.
Yeah,
right?
Everybody did.
Yeah, everybody does. And my mom goes, why do you pick your boogies? I said, because I like them. And she goes, okay, just go ahead and pick your boogies. Just don't let anybody see you do it. That's pretty good, yeah.
There's a whole Seinfeld episode where Jerry's dating a supermodel, and he's at a light, and he's scratching this part of his nose, like you're at the light over here, and Jerry's going like this.
Yeah.
And he looks over, and the supermodel thinks he's actually he's scratching, he's not picking.
Yeah.
And she looks at him like, oh my God, you're disgusting. And he goes, it was a scratch. It wasn't a pick. It was a scratch. But she won't believe him, and she breaks up with him.
But now I do that to my kids. I'm like, Daniel likes to eat his boogies. And I go, just don't let anybody do it. Just don't do it for anybody else. But then now his new term of endearment is, can I wipe my boogies on you?
No.
Yeah.
We're going to stop. We got to nip that in the bud. All right. Coming up next, the great Samuel L. Jackson, who I've been lucky enough to play golf with a couple of times, puts a clause in every contract where he does a movie that I can't believe he gets, but apparently he gets it. I'll tell you what it is next. ESPN LA, Momo and Mace. I'm John Ireland. What do you got?
Never miss a moment of Mason and Ireland. You can always listen to the podcast on the all-new ESPN LA app. Brought to you by Francis Coppola's Diamond Collection Wines. Coppola's Diamond Collection offers the perfect wines to celebrate both big and small occasions this summer. Enjoy your summer with Diamond Collection Wines.
All right, Mason in Ireland today. It's Momo in Ireland. Mace is on assignment, as he likes to say. And I saw this story, and I thought it'd be fun to kick around. Samuel L. Jackson, the great actor. This is according to Golf Digest. Says whenever he signs a contract to make a movie, he inserts a clause that allows him to play golf twice a week whenever he wants. So if you're shooting a movie, Sam gets to take a break and go play golf twice a week whenever he wants. So it got me to thinking. You and I both work for ESPN.
Yeah.
Bergman's now doing like 6 jobs here. If you could insert any clause into your employment deal, and we'll accept the premise that you'll get it, all right? So you'll get this clause put into your contract. What would you put in there?
Well, there's things I already have that are like fun.
Right.
I have the like you can travel on first class if it's over a certain number of hours. Right. That's like the greatest thing I ever got.
Right,
That's like
it's smart to put this clause in any contract you get. Business class or better.
Over,
Business class or better.
Yeah.
So if they have it, like I take a lot of flights.
Yeah.
That I will say this about the Lakers, because we fly privately on a plane.
Yeah.
If you ever have to fly outside of that, like you have an emergency or you've got to join the team later, they're great about that. You don't even have to ask them, and they'll give you business class or better.
I actually, because I have it, I don't abuse it.
Right.
Like it's funny. I always fly Southwest up to
right, which
Oakland.
Doesn't have first class.
Yeah, and they go, but they actually have the thing Business Select, but it just costs like $200 more, and the travel agent will go,
flight.
Yeah, I'll go, no, I don't need that. Go ahead. Like I'm not going to do that. It just feels wrong to me karmically. I will say about these clauses, okay, as somebody who's been a producer now.
Yes.
I have heard about some of these clauses or some of these.
You don't have to name names, but did any of the actors who did the Sterling affairs have clauses like we're talking about in their deals?
They did not have those clauses, but some of the actors who didn't get cast in the Sterling affairs did.
Asked for those things.
Yeah, asked or were known as.
Again, without naming names, what was the weirdest clause?
I don't know the clause. I just know that there would be people who are like seen as difficult to work with or had things in there that would make it hard. And the thing about these shooting schedules now, especially on streaming or films or something, is like they're really tight on time. I mean, like there's just not a lot of space to say, oh, we were going to shoot these 3 scenes today, but Mr. Jackson has to go play golf.
Well, I'll tell you this.
I mean, it's very
I'll tell you
disruptive.
a couple things about this.
Yeah.
Not really well. I don't mean to paint a picture that I'm like super close with Sam Jackson, but I played golf with him a bunch because we belong to the same club. And Sam got hurt a couple of years ago, got a back injury, so he doesn't play as much as he used to. He still plays. And he's not the type of guy that would blow up a shoot over nope, I get to, it's in my contract. If somebody said to him, hey, we got to go, we got a full day tomorrow of shooting, he would go, okay. I mean,
okay.
Obviously, he likes to work.
But I'll tell you this: like a lot of those clauses, they actually end up hurting you. So, I'll give you a good one.
Okay.
But I'm not going to name names.
Gotcha.
There's one very famous person in our industry who likes a particular kind of kettle corn.
Okay.
and you can't find it everywhere. So, like people who know, like you got to have this kettle corn. When they're traveling or whatever it is, like people buy it and have to bring it on the road or something.
So there was an anchor, a network anchor, that the smell of popcorn made him like a little nauseous.
Yeah.
And like people would bring popcorn in, and there was a popcorn machine in the thing, and he basically
banned it.
Yeah, he got
no popcorn machine.
Yeah, he got
it's
kicked
like
out of there.
But I mean, like I've heard stories of like production assistants having to run to 4 different supermarkets to see if they could find this specific kind of kettle corn.
Bergman, if you in your next big deal,
what are you going to get?
You can get any clause approved. What are you asking for?
Any clause approved?
Yeah.
I can never be fired. I can only quit.
I can never be fired.
Okay.
I can only quit. That's smart.
Yeah, you can never fire me.
What about a luxury item, like something for your office or something in the building?
I would like car service to and from anywhere that I go.
Okay, so
Whoa.
you would be surprised that you will not be laughed out of the room
I can't
if
get
you
car
ask for
service.
that.
I've tried several
There
times.
are
Like,
several,
they'll never give it to me.
There are several people at ESPN that have that in their deal.
I want it. I don't like driving.
I've tried.
And
They never gave it to me.
And we're friends with a lot of them. It's mostly people that live in New
New
York
and commute to Connecticut
that don't want to drive to Bristol.
Right.
There was a time when I was going to Bristol, and every time I would go there, it was always the winter time because the NBA season is always in the winter. And I would fly in, and I'd go to the car rental place there, and it's snowing and freezing ice and everything.
And the trains are delayed.
Yeah.
And it's such,
and
it's such a pain.
I don't know how to drive in that. I was like, what is this ice scraper for?
Right.
What do you do
So
with it?
it's funny.
And I just said to my agent, I go, can you please get me car service? I don't need it for anything other than when I go to Bristol in the winter because I'm scared and I don't know how to drive in 12 feet of snow and pick ice off. I go, it's not an Uber kind of town.
Right.
If I'm in New York, I can take a cab or Uber or something. But in Bristol, it's a suburban Connecticut town. You have to drive. And
where, by the way, every
and
restaurant,
it was a no.
Every restaurant in Bristol closes at 7:00.
Yeah.
Brian, if you
still
get one clause, one thing that, and you don't have to be embarrassed about asking for it because you're going to get it. What are you asking for?
So I was first going to go with something like, when I come in, if I come in at noon every day, that I want there to be some lunch, some nice,
That's good.
catered food for me every day, so I'm ready to roll.
Mason and I had that once. We had we did mornings, and as part of the morning show,
they had to bring you breakfast.
Well, they said, I said, we got a lot of people working here. How do you feel about getting a restaurant sponsor to give us a spread every morning, and they did it.
Oh, it sounds
so.
lovely.
So what is that where you ended up, or did you have another one?
Well, once Greg said something about the car, I was thinking, oh no, I'd rather have a self-driving Tesla. So when I'm off every day,
you just get in the car and have it whisk you home.
Just don't fall asleep at the wheel.
So the right answer is business class.
Yeah.
It's the greatest perk ever.
A friend of mine is in the music business,
Okay.
and he says that I had a whole conversation with him about this once, and it was so entertaining. He said, one day I'll take you through and show you all of the writers that I have for bands and musical artists. He said some of the things that are on these lists for big stars like Madonna or somebody is in their dressing room they will have exactly 8 mineral waters. They will have a massage chair. They will have food from this specific restaurant, and it will be delivered at this specific time, and it has to be enough to feed 8 people.
Yeah.
And there's 25, 30 things in these riders.
Yeah.
And, has to have one person had to have M&Ms, no green ones. So somebody had to take all the green M&Ms out. It comes from the old saying, if you don't ask for it, you'll never get it. So they just ask for everything.
The thing is, I just have been on the other side of it, and I'm always afraid that I'm going to overstep or I'm going to do so. I'm always. That's probably why we're still working, right? Because we don't ask for too much or we don't flex too much power.
Well, I will say this: that it's good not to be. If you're the highest paid person or the person with the most perks, and they've got a cut, then chances are you're getting cut.
Yeah.
If you're not the highest paid person and don't make a lot of demands, you have a better chance to survive. If you notice, that last round, without mentioning anybody specifically, that last round of ESPN layoffs were very high-paid people.
Yeah.
That didn't necessarily do anything wrong. It's just they had to save money, and they were making a lot, and so boom, they did it that way. All right, coming up next, this was something I read. I sent it to you guys. There was a link on the internet with stories about people that had served celebrities in restaurants. So waiters and waitresses who had served celebrities. Right. Some of them, like our friend Brian Canston, great. Other ones, Tyra Banks, not so great.
Really?
We'll get into that coming up next. First, let me tell you about ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, did you know it can take up to 11 weeks on average to hire for an open job? That's almost 2.5 months. You don't have that kind of time. Use ZipRecruiter. They can help you find qualified candidates for all your roles fast. Right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. My buddy Ian Siegel, who invented ZipRecruiter, puts it simply. We don't leave anything to chance. They use powerful matching technology to quickly find and send you the most qualified people for your roles. How fast does it work? 4 out of 5 companies who use ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. So see why 3.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. Just go to that exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/LA, to try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey,
Macy Gray.
I believe so. No, it's not.
It's somebody else?
Who's it, Brian?
Tones and I.
Okay, so it's not. It sounds like Macy Gray. A bunch of friends of mine went to go see Macy Gray last night. I haven't heard how it went, but they invited me. I couldn't go.
She's got a crazy cool voice.
Yeah. Okay, so I mentioned this is a website called excellenttown.com.
Okay.
and it went on. It's kind of like a Reddit page where they basically tell stories about a lot of waiters and waitresses on this site. They tell stories about interactions with celebrities. So,
do you ever search to see if like you're on there?
Well, I'm not a big enough celebrity to be on here, but like I'll give you an example. Drew Barrymore, like 10 people piled on saying how great she is. Like that they loved having Drew Barrymore there. Snoop Dogg.
Cool.
Tip's great. Very popular guy. Somebody served Rashida Jones and Adam Scott, who were in there together.
All right.
Super nice, super fun, tipped great. Kim Kardashian. Didn't look up a lot, but did leave a very big tip. Okay, so stuff like that.
Yeah.
One person who gets consistent A-plus grades on here, not surprisingly, is our friend Bryan Cranston, who goes out a lot with his wife, treats staff, and I think the reason for that is that Bryan was not always a huge star. He worked his way up and hit late. Okay. Tyra Banks, apparently the exact opposite. Like, didn't give anybody the time of day, didn't tip great, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever had a celebrity brush with greatness that surprised you? I'll give you one that I had.
All right.
I played in this celebrity charity softball game like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. I could not believe, was absolutely blown away by the demeanor, how nice this guy was, how he treated everybody great, like everybody.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, he was at the height of his fame. Mark Harmon could not have been nicer.
Yeah.
You know, I guess now he's on NCIS. He's married still to Pam Dauber from Mork and Mindy, who played Mindy on Mork and Mindy. And apparently she's exactly the same way. Like they've just never been. You know who else is like this? Will Ferrell.
Huh.
You ever meet Will Ferrell in person? He could not be more down to earth and nice.
Yeah, he seems like that.
So have you ever had one where you thought, oh, this person's going to be rough, and they were not rough?
No, I had one where I was like excited to meet someone, and they
let you down.
Yeah, they just kind of like kept on walking.
I had a weird exchange. I had a weird exchange with Kanye once.
I can't imagine any other kind of exchange with Kanye.
I was working as the Lakers sideline reporter. He was sitting courtside at a game in Brooklyn. And I said, hey, Kanye. And by the way, I had done Jay-Z the year before, and he was super nice.
Yeah.
I said, hey, Jay-Z, I'm John. I'm the Lakers sideline reporter. Can I come back from commercial here and ask you about Kobe? He goes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, you just said Kobe, so.
And he goes, so we come back, and he was like, well, some people have said no. But I tried the exact same thing with Kanye. And he looks at me and he goes, I don't know, man. I go, I'll keep it to one question. And then he just goes, I'm not doing it. Like he got violently loud. I go,
weird.
Okay, man. See ya.
See you later.
Like I'll give you another example. Kate Hudson was at a Clipper game. I was doing a Laker Clipper game, and Kate Hudson went to high school with Baron Davis.
Yep.
They're friends.
Crossroads High.
Yeah. And so Kate was there with one of her friends, and I walked up to her and I said, hey, I'm John from Lakers TV. I know you went to high school with Baron. Baron's playing in the game. I said, can I come back from this commercial and ask you about it? And she goes, look, I don't mean to be mean or rude or anything, but I've been drinking and I don't trust it. And she goes, can I take a rain check?
Smart. Yeah, I think that's smart.
Went, absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks for being so nice about it.
The coolest one, this is not even my interaction. I'm going to co-opt a Jackie McMullen story. Okay. So Jackie went up to Snoop Dogg at a game. And Snoop apparently is an avid ESPN watcher and thought Jackie was super cool. And she was like, oh, it's Snoop. She's like, can I call you Snoop?
Yeah.
Like, is that, like that's totally what Jackie would say, right?
Yeah.
She goes, my kids love you. And he goes, well, my kids love you. Like that.
He's awesome.
Yeah, and he was like, took a picture and all that.
All right. Another thing about Snoop. Greg, have you ever heard Snoop when somebody brings him into the booth? Like, we put him on the third chair.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
He may be. Alex Faust and Jim Fox were doing a Kings game, and they brought Snoop third man in the booth.
Okay.
He wasn't good. He was off the chart great.
Yeah. I got some of it.
Oh, do you? It's
about a minute.
Yeah, go for it.
Is it hockey?
Yeah, hockey.
Okay.
Happening, fellas? Hey. Welcome.
Hey,
Welcome
man.
to LA Kings Hall.
Hey, thank y'all for having me, man. Yeah, we had to see these rings right here.
Oh, yeah.
We had a chance.
We'll get a look at
We've
that.
had a chance twice
That's
to
great.
bring home that cup. And I've drunk out of Stanley before. Say that ain't so.
Yeah. Oh, there
yes,
you go.
sir.
That's-
Bling, bling right there. That's my
Yeah.
POV. I'll find him.
There we go, yeah.
I'll find you.
Here we go.
Give me that.
Here we go.
SMD, turn it around. Push it, run the weave. Come on now.
Hands up.
Oh, watch out. Oh, he stole on him. He fired on Cuz. Hold on now. Oh, get it cracking in. Let's go. Snoop Dogg in the house. Let me see some. Yeah, go get him, Dion. Get him, Dion. Move, Dion. Get out the way. Go get him. Go
That's
get him.
great.
Hey, was that Doty?
Oh, yeah.
Doty. That's my dog. Find it. You got the ball. Come on, nephew. Good looking at it. I see y'all Sports Center tonight.
You got it, man.
That was good.
And every time he does one of these things, he knocks it out of
Yeah.
the park. And Andre, Greg, you were a waiter in another life, were you not?
I was a waiter for a very long time.
Did you ever have to serve anybody famous?
Let's see. Who have I? Not anybody that I can think of off the top of my head.
You never had any good or bad interactions, or
No, some. I can't think of any right now.
Yeah, the when I was doing sidelines for the Lakers, I was shocked at how many people were way nicer than I thought. So one time, Paul McCartney is at a game, and I figure if I get Sir Paul,
Yeah.
it'll be unbelievable. And I walk up to him and I go, Paul, I'm John Ireland. I'm the Lakers sideline reporter. Can I visit with you when we come back? And he looks, he goes, hey, John, nice to meet you. And he's like, Bebop, he goes, and he's obviously dealt with weird requests
Yeah.
before because he looks right at me. He goes, I'm here with my kids, and he goes, I really want to spend time focusing on them. He goes, do you mind if I pass? And
Yeah.
I said, of course. You know, whatever you need. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And he did, but could not have
Super,
been.
yeah.
Could not have been nicer. So it's, but I think most of the people on this website, on these celebrity interactions, I would say 90% of them positive.
What's the name of it? It's a Reddit
I'll send it
page.
to you.
Okay.
Excellenttown.com, but I'll email it to you right now so you have it. All right,
Yeah.
coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, game of games, and it's Ramona's game. Whenever Ramona does a game, they're either really good or really bad. What will it be today? Coming up next, Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
Hey, get your tickets now to join Sedano and Cap from Rams training camp next week on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at UC Irvine. Get your free tickets now at therams.com/training camp.
Afternoon.
Remember, anyone can fight, but calljacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle. Call Jacob. Thank you. Game of games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, no Mace today. We have Momo in for Mace, and we welcome to the show Scott Kaplan. Cap, how we doing today?
Yo, 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 yo.
All right, Momo, what? So it's 4 players, Brian, Greg, John, Cap. What's the game?
Barbieheimer. Okay, we're doing Barbie and Oppenheimer trivia.
All right, now I have not seen either one. Cap, have
you don't have to.
Nope,
don't worry.
Okay.
You don't have to see either
Greg,
of them.
have you seen either one?
Nope.
Brian?
Sure haven't.
Barbie.
You've seen Barbie. All right, so you may have an edge. Okay.
So I don't think so. I don't think you're going to have any edge. It's like total swag system.
All right, is it...
multiple choice.
Okay.
9 total questions. About half of them are Barbie and half are Oppenheimer.
Got it.
Got it?
Got it.
Okay. What year was Barbie first released? 1954, 55, 59, or 62?
Okay, so
the first Barbie doll.
From now on, narrow it down to 3 choices. Okay, after this one.
See if I can do that. Are you keeping score? Or do you want me to?
Yeah, I got it. Brian.
What were the options again? I'm sorry.
54, 55, 59, or 62?
Let's go 54.
Okay. John.
55. Greg.
Dodgers' first World Series, 1955.
Cap.
54.
And that's it. That's all. 1959.
Nobody got
first. Nobody got it.
Nobody got it.
Okay. As of 2023, how many Barbie movies have been made? 43, 1, or 25? Who's up first? John.
No, it's Greg.
Greg. Got it.
43, 1, or 25?
Correct.
43.
Goes to
me.
Goes to John.
I'll say 1. Cap.
Okay.
1.
Brian.
25.
The answer is 43.
Yeah, there's a ton of those.
It's a lot of Barbie movies.
Did you get that, Greg?
Greg got it.
All right, so somebody's on the board.
Riley's
Thank God.
watched a lot of them too.
What's like other than this one?
I have no idea.
Okay.
They're all
Okay.
animated. They're not they're not live action.
Got it.
Okay. What was Oppenheimer's nickname among his friends? Bobby, Oppie, Rob, or the Bomb Guy?
Bomb guy.
Okay, this one's me. I'll go Oppie.
Okay.
Cap.
One more time. I need the options.
Bobby, Oppie, Rob, or the Bomb Guy?
Bobby.
All right.
Brian.
Bomb guy.
Greg.
Bobby. Bobby?
The answer is Oppie.
Oh, I got it.
All right.
All right, so Greg won, John won, Cap and Brian Bupkis.
Yeah.
When Oppenheimer came home from Europe, where did he teach? What college did he teach at? Was it Harvard, MIT, Cornell, or University of California at Berkeley?
Cap.
Harvard.
Brian.
Berkeley.
Greg.
Berkeley.
John.
I'm with Cap. I think it's Harvard.
The answer is Cal Berkeley.
Oh, Brian
Hey.
and Greg. Okay.
Brian and Greg.
Wow, getting killed.
Okay. Barbie has 7 siblings. Which of these names that I'm about to read you are not one of them?
Okay.
Which of these
I might
names
know
are not a Barbie sibling?
Okay.
Skipper, Todd, Stacy, or Tony? Skipper, Todd, Stacy, or Tony? Which is not a Barbie sibling?
Brian.
Todd.
Okay.
Greg.
Tony.
Give them to me again.
Skipper, Todd, Stacy, or Tony?
I'm going to go Tony. Cap.
All right. Cap.
Just for the effort here, I'm going Skipper.
No, there's definitely,
There's definitely a skipper.
Come on.
All right, what is it, Momo?
It's Tony.
All right, Greg,
Yeah.
that's me and you?
Yep.
All right.
Do you want to know any of the history there? I wrote
Sure.
it down. Skipper was introduced in 1964. Twins Todd and Tootie were around from 65 to 71. Stacy hit the shelves in 1990. Kelly was sold from 94 to 2010. And Chelsea was introduced in 2011 as a replacement for Kelly.
What about Tony?
There's no Tony.
Yeah, that's why we got it right, Cap.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
Greg 3, John 2, Brian 1, Cap Bupkis.
All right.
Terrible.
In 1967, the supermodel Twiggy became the first celebrity to be immortalized as a Barbie doll. Which of these celebrities has also earned this honor?
Okay.
Madonna, Nicki Minaj, or Kim Kardashian?
Ooh.
Okay, who's up?
Greg.
Go ahead, Greg.
Ooh.
Madonna, Nicki Minaj, or Kim Kardashian?
Kim Kardashian just seems so right on brand. Let's go Kim.
All right.
All right, this one's me. I'm going to go Nicki Minaj.
Okay.
Cap.
I was going to go Nicki Minaj, but just because I'm now having to fight back, I'll go Madonna.
Okay, Brian.
I think it's Madonna, too.
It's Nicki Minaj.
Oh, wow.
There he goes.
All right, Greg, I tied you up. John 3, Greg 3, Brian 1, and Cap, what the hell?
Well, I'm just trying to go 0 today.
What type of science was Oppenheimer first interested in as a child? Chemistry, mineralogy, or physics? Chemistry, mineralogy, or physics?
This one's me.
Yep.
I think mineralogy is too weird for you to have made up, so I'm going mineralogy. Cap.
Chemistry.
All right.
Brian.
Physics.
Greg.
Mineralogy.
It's a mineralogy.
Yeah. Boom. Bergman 4, Ireland 4. How many are left, Momo?
I don't know. I'm going out of order.
All right, keep going.
Okay, because I hit off the top or Barbies and all. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's just a couple left.
Okay.
Okay. Which university did Oppenheimer attend? Stanford, Harvard, or Illinois? Stanford, Harvard, or Illinois?
Cap.
Illinois.
Brian.
Harvard.
Greg.
Illinois is so weird. Illinois.
I'm with Brian. I'm going Harvard.
It's Harvard.
Harvard. All right, Greg, I got the lead now.
Random Illinois.
Okay, and this is the last one.
Okay, so...
I'm on the verge of a goose egg
Wait a
here.
minute. Scott Kaplan is on the verge of Game of Games history.
Right. Let me see if I can do it.
We could replace...
Well, it's not a yes or no situation.
Yeah, but he's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's over.
It's a little bit different because it was a true or false that he went over on, but it's fine.
All right.
Let me go last. We'll
let Cap go last. I have to go first. Greg, me 5, you 4.
Okay.
Do you have a
All right, here we
tiebreaker, Mo?
I do.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
At Harvard University, how many courses did Oppenheimer take each semester on average? 5, 8, or 10?
Holy mackerel. I'll just guess 8. Greg.
You went right in the middle.
Yeah.
So I either go high or low here. I'm going to go
5
with
or
the
10.
big number 10.
All right. Brian.
10.
Cap.
I think it's 10, but I'm going 5.
What is it?
It's 10.
It's 10.
Cappy!
Cappy did it.
You flunked Barbieheimer.
Yes. Cappy took an offer. We haven't had an offer all year.
That's amazing.
Damn right.
That was awesome.
And we're tied.
We're
so
tied.
good.
Okay, so for the second day in a row, Bergman and I go to a tiebreaker. Bergman won yesterday. All right, Mama, what do you got?
I'm out all next week, too.
Okay.
All right, you need this.
The opening weekend was one of the largest opening weekends in a long time.
Right.
The gross of all the movies was $311 million.
Okay.
How much of that $311 million was from Barbieheimer? Barbie or Oppenheimer?
Okay. So, Greg, we got to write a number down.
I got a number down. I did it.
Okay, you already did it? I'm going to go... all right, Greg, what'd you write down?
I wrote 240.
I wrote 273.
Oh, Greg Bergman, 244.
Oh, yeah! All right, so you get out of here with a 2-0 lead on your
Nice.
vacation. That should hold you.
Well, no, you have one, so it's I have 2, you have 1.
No, there's only been 2 games since we started the new year.
No,
And you won them both. Because I locked it up on Wednesday.
Was it Wednesday or Tuesday?
Oh, maybe I did. Okay, so it's 2-1. I'll
2 to
take
1.
it.
I mean, well, no, we don't need you to have another one. That's fine. It's fine. No,
Well,
you
I go on vacation in August, too, so I
Okay.
think you're in good shape. Cap, how does it feel to be the first guy to take a goose egg in Game of Games in 2023?
Feels awesome, dude. Feels great. I mean,
Like you almost had it. You're like, I think it's 10, but I'm going to
Yeah.
go 5. I'm
Well,
like,
There was a method to his madness.
Right, like
It was Wednesday 'cause
earlier.
it was my game.
Earlier, it was like there was the one about which one is not the name.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Tony, and I still decided to go against what John said just to see if I could get on the board and get kind of lucky.
See, you do what I used to, which is like you start playing, like you miss 1 or 2 early, and then you start going against the grain too soon. Because you want to get back in the game, so you
Right.
think you need to answer the opposite.
Right.
So, like, you start going against the grain on question 3. And that's
Right.
how you go
Then
for the bagel.
Yeah, and then you end up blowing
Yeah.
it. All right, Brian, hit the super
That was
stager.
9 questions he missed.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, George Sedano and Scott Kaplan join the show. Sedano, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you, John?
Excellent. We were talking earlier. I don't know what brought it up. Oh no, we did a. Hey, Greg, ask your Jeopardy question to Sedano and Cap.
Oh, I gotta
get all up in this.
Did you guys hear this?
No.
That some guy botched Final Jeopardy. And it was his second day. He was a 2-day Jeopardy champion, and he botched it. I got it. Ramona almost got it. Brian didn't get it. Greg, all right, you got it?
All right, so the category is compound word origins. So it's a compound word.
Okay, compound word origin.
This compound word meant an astronomical object of exceptional brightness in 1910. It was soon applied to actors and athletes.
Okay, so Greg, while they're thinking about it, read it one more time.
This compound word meant an astronomical object of exceptional brightness in 1910. It was soon applied to actors and athletes.
Okay.
Okay, I think I got it.
All right,
I do too.
Easy.
Okay.
Cappy,
George.
what do you got, Cappy?
Go ahead, Cap.
Now, George, you realize I just went 0 for 9 in Game of Games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this could turn into 0 for 10 for me.
Yeah.
I think
so.
you're
You
gonna- I think
want to
you're
go
gonna get
first,
it,
or do
Cap.
you want me to
No,
go?
I want to go first because if you get it right, then I copy you, and then it makes me look,
Yeah.
you know.
All right.
cheesy.
That's exactly.
I think this one's fairly easy.
It is.
Here's what
super
I
easy.
have. Here's what I have. I wrote down superstar.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, now, Sedano, what did you write down?
Yeah, superstar.
Okay, so you guys both got it.
You're
That's
both wrong.
exactly
You're
right.
supposed to say what is superstar.
Do you have to? Yeah, in
Final, yeah.
Yeah, you have to write it on.
Yeah,
the-
you do
on
have to
the
write
sheet.
what is or who is.
Yeah,
or
I
right,
thought I thought for a Final Jeopardy question that was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
anyways,
I'd say.
it led us down a rabbit hole of. Do you guys remember Sedano and Cap? You guys are both old enough to remember the Superstars.
Yes.
You know,
course.
it was basically an athletic competition between guys from every sport.
Right.
Like Herschel Walker won it a couple of times,
Yeah.
and Jason Sehorn
Yep.
won it a couple of times, and so there's this house in Florida that you can rent for $700 or $800 a night. It's got 14 rooms, and they're all sports themed.
Cool.
So we said, if we put everybody at the station in this house and had a Superstars competition. So you guys remember those? Like one was a swimming race, weightlifting, obstacle course. There was a golf thing, a basketball thing. So basically it's an all-around athletic competition. Who from the station wins it? What do you think, Sedano?
Beto or Clinton?
Okay, what do you think, Cap?
Me.
All right, you were Cap. You were mentioned as a potential medalist. I thought it would be Morrison 1.
Oh, well, I forgot Kirk. Yeah.
Tamarco 2, and I thought.
I don't think DeMarco. DeMarco's strong, but he's not like Kirk anymore.
And then Cap, I had either you or Bergman 3. Sedano, I thought you and I would be respectable, but we'd finish middle of the pack.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought for sure Mason finishes last. Matter of fact, he doesn't even finish because he gets hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that dude got hurt on the first play.
These guys thought
He's like bleeding from his chin,
guys,
his knee.
he has
like,
been injured in every possible athletic competition we have ever
unbelievable.
done. Yeah,
I was like, Mason is already bleeding.
He is a
I couldn't believe it.
professional spaz.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but
Professional spaz.
But to his credit, he keeps coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
He does.
Hey,
Yeah.
Johnny I, what was the answer that the Jeopardy champion gave when we got Superstar? What did he say? Do you recall?
He just wrote star. I think he forgot that the category was compound words. 'Cause
Right.
a compound word is two words that make up
yeah.
one word.
Yeah.
So you guys both picked up on that. Like
Big time. We're
Ramona,
smart.
Ramona
I wrote shooting star, but if
star.
I would have thought about it for like one more second, I would have got it.
Yeah, which are actually two words.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how the guy missed it.
Wow. Hey, by the way, what competitions would there be? I mean, I right away, of course, George knows I'm just way too overconfident. But like, what events? If we went to this house and each room had a theme, and we were going to play the Superstars competition, you mentioned swimming,
Right.
Okay?
That was one of them.
Okay, so I think I win in swimming. George, are you a good swimmer?
I'm a decent swimmer.
Okay,
Not
how about
fast.
you, Johnny I?
I'm a good swimmer. I'll let you know I'm probably overconfident because Mason and I, USC does this thing called Swim with Mike or Swim for Mike, where this guy got paralyzed and they raise money for disabled athletes. And they said, like, the USC Song Girls are there and the football team has a race. And so they said, hey, we want to do Mason versus Ireland.
Yeah.
So it was basically up and
Do you like breathe sideways?
Yeah, well, it was up and back in the pool. And I took it really seriously.
Oh, okay.
Francisco Pinto, our Lakers Spanish language announcer at the time, his wife Rachel is a competitive swimmer.
Wow.
So I actually called her and said, hey, will you swim with me once a week? I got a month. And just get me ready for this race. And she was awesome. Like, she taught me all this great stuff. So Mason and I jump in the pool. And I start swimming, and I'm going hard. And I realize Mason can't swim.
Oh.
And I so it's just one length down and one length back. And
Wow.
Rachel taught me a flip turn.
Is this an Olympic-sized pool?
Yeah, at USC.
Okay.
And so I go down, and I flip turn into the wall, and I go back. And as I'm going back, I pass Mason halfway through the lane.
Oh, my gosh.
I finished two
You
lengths.
flip-turned.
I finished 2 lengths before he finished 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I probably am overconfident. Mm-hmm. And if I think about it more, the fact that I beat a guy that can't swim means absolutely nothing. All right,
And you put a lot of time into that, too. You put a lot of effort into it.
But to his credit, to Mace, and this is so on brand for Mace,
Yeah.
he did wear I wore one of those tier competitive Michael Phelps, the swimsuit
long
sticks
Speedos?
to your skin.
Yeah.
Like the Speedo starts at your waist, goes down to your knee.
Yeah.
Right.
Mason showed up in a Rodney Dangerfield back to school full body.
Oh, that's great.
Triple Lindy. He's going to do the triple Lindy.
And it was like striped
He's
down
amazing.
the side. It was great.
That's
All right,
awesome.
So here's the events cap. Tennis, swimming, weightlifting, bowling, 9 holes of golf, table tennis, 100-yard dash, baseball hit, half-mile run, bicycle race, obstacle course.
Oh, my God. That's
a
as you
lot.
say that, think about who's going to win each one. Like DeMarco or Kirk is going to win weightlifting.
And
Yes.
Marco will win weightlifting.
And probably Kirk's still probably pretty fast. Does Kirk win the 100-yard dash cap, or could you give him a run?
No, he beat me because I'd pull a hamstring halfway down,
All right.
or a cramp or something.
Bowling, Travis strikes me as the type of
Seems
guy
like a bowler.
who could Fred Flintstone
Definitely.
his way.
Okay.
Yep.
Golf, Travis would win. Travis is a really good golfer.
I think I've got swimming and biking.
I'd give you a run in swimming. You'd beat me in biking. Table tennis, ping pong.
So that
I'm
sounds like
decent at
Sliwa.
ping pong.
Sliwa, maybe.
Or maybe Sedano.
I mean, I'm not as good as Mike Trudell, but I'm
Trudell,
decent.
Yeah.
Baseball hit would be Morrison, right?
Oh, 100%.
Well, and you said regular tennis too, right?
Yeah, tennis, I could hang around for a while. George,
Yeah.
I would imagine you could probably give me a game.
I'm decent at tennis. yeah.
Cappy, are you a good tennis player?
Not really.
No, me neither.
Okay. So Sedano and I would have a chance. A bicycle race, I'll give to Cap. Half-mile run.
That
no
sounds
way.
like Mario Ruiz.
John Chin, if we let him in it.
Okay.
John Chin's a triathlete.
Oh, yeah.
He would. He'd probably.
Yeah, running on pavement to me is just not fun anymore.
No.
Well, 2 laps around the track.
All right. Yeah. So it would be close. So as the years evolved, they added some more sports. Rowing replaced golf at some point.
Okay.
Then they brought golf back for a closest to the pin to replace the baseball hit. In 1991, when they rebranded the show and did it, they dropped tennis and golf and put kayaking in. They put a jet ski in 1993. That'd be fun. And so, yeah, it would be fun.
This would be a very close, very, very close competition. Because some of these events, seem to work well for certain personalities on this station, certain body types, and certain levels of athleticism.
So here's it was a ratings bonanza every time they did it. Here are the people that won. It started in 1973. So Bob Segrin, the pole vaulter, won the initial Superstars competition.
Okay.
Then Kyle Rote, a soccer player. Third year of the Superstars, O.J. Simpson.
Oh, the Juice.
Wow.
Yeah, Juice.
Kyle Rote won it twice more.
Yeah.
I'm
just saying.
A water skier named Wayne Grindich won it.
Wayne Grindich was a great, great water skier. Let me tell you something. That guy could spray the water as well as anybody you've ever seen and then cut across the wake and then just one-hand it. You guys remember him, right?
Yeah. He and he won in 1978. Charles White from USC, the running back who just passed away.
Yeah,
he
shout
won.
out.
Ronaldo, you
R.I.P.
guys remember Ronaldo Nehemiah?
Oh, yeah, of
He
course.
He won 4 times, including 3 in a row.
He was like a track star, right?
Yeah,
he was.
Willie Gault.
Yeah, also another track guy.
Raiders
won 2 years in a row. Remember Dan and Dave, the decathletes?
Oh, yeah.
Dave Johnson won twice. Jason Sehorn, the old USC defensive back, he won twice. Bodie Miller, the skier, he won. And the last one was in 2003. Jeremy Bloom.
Oh, wow.
Who was a football player and a
Colorado
skill. Did you guys ever see a movie with Jessica Chastain called Molly's Game?
Yeah, the
About a
poker game. Yeah, that was awesome.
She played, her name was Molly Bloom. That was Jeremy Bloom's sister.
Wow, Jeremy Bloom, he was way ahead of his time. I don't know if you guys remember what happened to that kid.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him play college football.
Right, because he was sponsored in skiing.
Right.
So, you could be Deion Sanders and go play for the Yankees in the offseason,
right,
and you come back and play football at Florida State. But Jeremy Bloom couldn't play football at Colorado and go be a professional skier. It was the most bizarre thing. He was way ahead because if it was today, in the world of NIL,
he'd be
but
huge.
Cappy,
yeah.
I worked a game where I was a sideline reporter for the stuff you're doing. For a UCLA Colorado game, and Jeremy Bloom played in that game.
Yeah.
So did the ruling come down after he played a season or something?
He started as a freshman.
It was after that,
Yeah, he started as a freshman as like a heralded kick returner guy. And then his career really was in skiing, snowboarding. I think he was an Olympic guy or hopeful. And he had all this, he had to kind of decide between the skiing stuff or the football stuff because the money was in the skiing side.
Hey, let me do a update for Angel fans right now. On Apple TV, because it's a Friday.
Okay.
It's Friday.
The Angels are playing in Toronto, and Lucas Giolito, who they traded for yesterday, is starting for the Angels tonight in Toronto.
How about Ohtani?
Hey, look that up, Greg. See if Ohtani is in the lineup.
Well, and it said yesterday, John, you brought up that
back injury or something.
Right, so what I had read was, because I went searching for this information, was that it was called a cramp by the team.
Yeah.
Right.
And they said he's completely going to be fine.
Yeah, so Greg says he's batting second as the DH in the lineup.
Yeah.
So, good. By the way, is it hyperbole, George, for me to say that what Ohtani did yesterday is the greatest individual day for a baseball player ever? He pitched a one-hit complete game shutout, then came back in the second game of the doubleheader and hit 2 home runs. Got to be close. Got to be close.
Yeah, I would say so. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything else.
Like
Reggie's
Reggie's
not the
3 home
baseball
runs.
historian.
Yeah,
so.
Reggie's 3 home runs in the World Series would.
I mean, that's a pretty big one. Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also the stakes there are much higher, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Right.
Yeah.
Is Reggie the only guy ever to hit 3 home runs in a World Series game? I think he might
Yes.
be. Kike Hernandez did it in a playoff series against the Cubs.
Series, though, not
Yeah,
a
but
game.
not the World Series.
Ohtani had 2 home runs in
remember,
2 games. Too.
Didn't Sean Green go 6 for 6 when he was with the Dodgers in a game?
That sounds right.
That sounds right. And
4 home runs in that game.
4.
Oh, there you go.
But
So
was
that's
it
a
a
pretty
play
good one.
But what's a bigger deal? 4 home runs in a game, or a guy pitching a complete game shutout in one game, and then in the same day a doubleheader where he comes back and hits 2 home runs in your team?
No, I get it,
game.
but I'm just saying, right. But he has the ability to do that. Sean Green was literally perfect.
Yeah, but now here's the amazing thing, Cap. The complete game shutout was a one-hitter. It's arguably the greatest game Ohtani has ever pitched.
Right, first complete game. That's
and then he doubles it up by hitting 2 home runs. There's just never been anybody like him.
No,
I mean,
definitely not. Yeah.
He's. You got to go back to Babe Ruth to even do a comparison, and he's better. He's much better pitcher than Babe Ruth was.
Yeah.
So Babe, you could argue was a better hitter,
Right.
but not much. Ohtani.
Babe Ruth is known for his hitting. Ohtani's known for both.
Right, and Ohtani leads the majors in home
30.
runs.
What was it? 38 home runs already?
Yeah, I mean it's just.
God.
I mean what we're watching is like freakish.
It's wild. Yeah, well, it's something we've never been able to witness in our lifetimes, for sure.
Yeah. I love how the conversation, though, goes right back to Babe Ruth. And somebody had just said this to me last night. They're like, is Ohtani better than Babe Ruth? And I'm like, I don't freaking know, man.
Probably.
You know? Well, I didn't see Babe
bigger,
Ruth.
stronger, faster, you know?
Yeah,
he's in way better shape.
Right. I mean, I would think so. Like, the athlete of today versus the athlete of 100 years ago, like, is it really on par? You know?
I'll make the argument that Michael Thompson would make if he was here. that what Ohtani is doing is more impressive because he's competing against all races.
Right, of course.
That when Babe did it, there were, obviously there were no Dominican players, no black players, so it was skewed in the 1920s towards.
It's a good point.
It was an all-white sport.
By the way, someone in the Circle of Trust brings it up, and that's a good point. This Albert Pujols also hit 3 home runs in a World Series game.
Oh, how about that?
Okay, there you go.
Very good.
Ask X.
All right, so just so I feel like I'm
No, ask the Circle.
Ask the Circle.
Yes.
Yeah, it's X, but we have a circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Why
It's like
not?
a tic-tac-toe game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I think he just did it again. Ohtani just hit another home run.
Led off with a homer.
Yeah, he led his first at bat in Toronto home run. He now has 39.
Yeah, MLB Tonight Live. Or is this?
Yeah.
This isn't just like a replay from yesterday.
No, he just came up in the same. So hey, Cap, his back is fine.
Yeah, right. Nothing to worry about.
Wow.
All right, stay tuned. Sedano and Cap coming at you for the next 3 hours. Thank you, Momo.
Thanks,
Have
John.
a great weekend, everybody. ESPN LA.
Enjoy Barbie.
Hey, everybody, what's